Good morning, students. We have done about how elections are conducted in India or the various stages of election in India. Now, today we are going to move on to the next topic, that is, how can you say that elections in India are democratic? Now, first of all, we have to see who is getting the elections conducted. In India, the elections are being conducted by an independent election commission. It is an autonomous body like the judiciary, and this election commission is taking care of all the aspects of elections, from the announcement of election dates to the declaration of result. Everything is taken care of and is being conducted by this independent election commission. And the members of election commission, they do not belong to any political party. Okay, then it implements the code of conduct and also punishes any candidate or party that is violating the model code of conduct. During the election period, the election commission can order the government to follow certain guidelines. So all the government officials have to work under the election commission, especially on the election day. So because the elections are being conducted by an independent body, which does not belong to any political party, we can say that it is taking care of all aspects of elections, and it is seeing that elections are conducted in a democratic manner. Then next we have to see popular participation. That means that how many people are going and voting. This is measured by voters turnout and is expressed as a percentage. Voters turnout means how many people have gone and voted in the election. And if this figure is high, it means elections are popular in the country and people have faith on elections. If there was any kind of malpractice involved, the voter turnout is going to be low. But because the voters turnout is increasing, and if it is high, it means that people have faith on elections. There is no malpractice going on, there is no cheating, and people are going. And that is why people are going and voting. But there is some trend that we have observed in India, especially. It is the poor and the illiterate or the underprivileged class that is going and voting in larger proportions as compared to rich and privileged sections. In USA, it's the opposite. It is the richer class and a higher class that is going and voting in large numbers. But in India, it is the opposite. And because they feel that if they will go and vote, they can put pressure on the political parties, and therefore the political parties will adopt those programs. They will do something that is good for them, which will favor them. But the voters' turnout has increased in recent years, which shows that people do have faith in elections. So we can say that elections in India are democratic because elections are being conducted by an independent election commission. And secondly, because the voter turnout, that is the number of people who are going and voting, that is increasing. That means people have faith in elections. That is why they are going and voting. And the third point that tells us that elections in India are democratic is the acceptance of election outcome. Whatever is the result of elections, that is accepted by all the parties and the leaders. Nobody has ever challenged the result. Okay. And the outcome of India's election speaks for itself. For example, the ruling parties have been losing elections both at the national and state level. We have seen that the party that is currently in power now tends to lose the elections. Okay, so this fact itself says that elections are democratic. Otherwise, the ruling party will never lose. Then, two out of three elections held in the last 25 years, we have seen that ruling party has lost the elections. In USA, an incumbent or sitting elected representative, incumbent means a person who's currently in power, rarely loses an election. But this is not so in India. India may We have seen that those who are in power currently tend to lose in the next elections. Okay, so half of the sitting MPs or MLAs lose elections. Then it is also seen that candidates who have spent a lot of money in campaigning and trying to buy votes are those who have some kind of contact with the criminals or have taken the support of the criminals, often lose elections. So here people are, very much aware of what is happening, and they do not, tend to give votes to those who have spent a lot of money on campaigning. And the election outcome has never been challenged by any political party. So that's all these, things speak that election outcome is the result of free and fair elections or democratic elections that have taken place in the country. So these 3 points tell us that the elections are democratic in India. The first point being that the elections in India are being conducted by an independent election commission. Then, secondly, the voters' turnout, which is increasing year after year. And thirdly, the election outcome, which is being accepted by all the political parties, nobody has challenged, and those who are currently in power tend to lose the election. All this, all these facts, they tell us that elections in India are democratic. Now we move on to the next aspect. We have done that democracy, though it is a better form of government, but still it has its shortcomings. So here elections, though the election commission tries its best to get the elections conducted in a fair manner, but still there are certain challenges. There are certain things that we need to take care of. So the challenges to free and fair elections are that sometimes it is often observed that candidates or parties who have a lot of money have an unfair advantage over those candidates who do not have so much of money. Because these candidates who have a lot of money are spending so much money on campaigning. They spend a lot of money on campaigning. They try to help the people, by giving them blankets or food or things like that. So definitely they have an advantage over those who are not able to spend so much of on campaigning. Then secondly, it has been seen that in some parts of the countries, candidates who have some kind of contacts with the criminals are able to push those who, who are not so resourceful, who do not have contacts or do not have so much of money. So they also enjoy an unfair advantage. Then, thirdly, we have seen that there are certain families that tend to dominate the elections. They try to give the ticket to their family members. Thus, those people who have no, contacts with the political people, they are at the back, they are left behind, and families are dominating the politics. So this also has to be taken care of. That it's not that all the family members they give tickets to their own members, and those people who want to contest the elections but have no contacts are left. Then very often elections give us very little choice. There is competition only between two parties or two candidates. So we do not have many choices with us. And last of all, there are certain independent candidates or smaller parties or local parties or regional parties, they are not able to compete with the those contestants who belong to the bigger political parties. So here, independent candidates also are at a disadvantage. They may be more qualified, they may be more deserving, but yes, because they do not belong to any bigger political party, they tend to lose. Very few independent candidates are able to win the election. They are not as popular if they belong to a bigger political party. So these are some of the challenges to free and fair elections that need to be taken care of. We have to see that those people who have a lot of money, and do not enjoy an unfair advantage. That is why that restriction has been placed that they cannot spend more than 25 lakh rupees. Then those who have criminal connections are able to push others. Sometimes there are various families that tend to dominate the this elections. Choices may not be so varied to us. Sometimes we do not have many choices. We have, competition between only two parties or two candidates. And those who are contesting the elections as independent candidates suffer or disadvantage. So these are some of the challenges that need to be taken care of in India.